Joanne says, "Yep, walking is great.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can do. You wanted to. I was like, hey Sam, what should we talk about? What do you want to talk about?"
Yes, that's right.
And you were like, hey, little things. And I was like, yeah, walking is like a little thing, right? You might not want to do yoga,
Yeah.
but can you walk?
That's right. Today was a gorgeous day here in Montreal, even though we have some crazy lockdown stuff we're going to talk about. It was a gorgeous day. When I say gorgeous, it was like sunny, -2, something like that. So I got myself out of the house, went and got some food, and then after my food and my caffeine, I had a little bit more pep and went for a walk on Mount Royal. And I didn't know how far I was going to go. Honestly, I was like, let me just get up the hill. Let me just get up the hill. Because that's like the hardest part is like getting yourself on the yoga mat or getting yourself out the door. Oftentimes it's like, that's the hardest thing is get yourself, doing that thing that you think would be good for you. And so I just started walking and I saw people and there was like sun and I had my music. So music is fantastic if you're looking for motivation. I had great music playing with my new AirPods Pro, which I love to death. Noise cancellation, can't hear the traffic out there.
Very good for your mental health. Very good for people with anxiety. I certainly didn't realize this when I got the AirPods Pro. But you put them on, you put on noise cancellation. There is noise pollution happening in the city.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, oh, am I not going to be like as present in my environment? And now I'm like, hell yes, I don't want to be as present in my environment with all
and I mean,
cars.
nothing stops you from just like changing it to transparency mode if you feel like you're in danger, you gotta like hear traffic or whatnot. But wow, they really help. So if you can afford that, then it's an investment. It's an investment into your mental health.
Those are some little changes, definitely.
So I ended up on the mountain and I ended up going up all the stairs, went out to the lookout point, took some pictures. Like I was definitely in the zone. So that was feeling good.
I like how every time Canadians talk about in the winter how it was warm weather, it was a nice day. I always want to clarify for our warmer listeners, -2, sunny, it's great. It's a great time, especially once we get to -30. -2 comes back again. The funniest thing I find is that when we get to lower temperatures at the beginning of the cold weather, then people find it very cold. But -2 coming out of -35, people are wearing shorts and t-shirts walking around. They're like, what cold? Yay, the summer's back.
I saw a woman jogging with short shorts today. Short shorts.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
Yeah. Today was a day where you're like,
those people exist.
I'll go walking. Yeah, those people do exist. Look, there's people who bike. I have a friend, Dion, a great comedian who bikes in the winter. He's trying to get me to bike in the winter. I'm like, buddy, no thanks. He's like, oh, we're going to get you on board. We're going to get you into it.
Maybe not in the city. I mean, but
crazy people out there. Some people just shouldn't. I was going to end that sentence in a very bad way, but I love Dion, and I don't think he should stop existing. Just fall off the planet. No.
Let's just say Melissa says AirPods Pro make her a better parent.
My AirPods Pro make me a better parent.
That's good. That was good.
I really like that.
And then we got Joanne there saying eek -2 because where is she? In Mexico.
Hey, you used to be here, Joanne. You used to be here.
She complains about, it's too hot. It's 30 degrees. Yeah.
My mom does the same thing. Joanne says it's 25 degrees there. My mom does that in Florida. She's like, oh my God, it's cold here. It's 13 degrees. I'm like, you little.
Oh yeah, my mom was saying it was too cold to swim recently. I'm like,
I like that. But you gotta appreciate the little things when the weather is good, when you get to walk, do some yoga. I think that's a good thing.
That's right.
I think it's a good thing. One of the things I do want for the new year is trying to figure out, just personally, this is a challenge that I've had. Not exactly the little thing in my book, it's kind of a big thing, but just to figure out like what's true. Like it's hard for me to figure out like to know what's true out there in the world and like what's real. When we talk about nutrition, for example, you think I have family and friends who are on the carnivore diet, right? The carnivore diet, if you don't know what that is, people just eat meat.
Just meat.
Like when you're a kid and you're like eating your meal and your mother's like, hey, you got to eat your veggies. You can't just eat the meat. There's some adults who are like, you know what? Forget that. I am just eating meat. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And it works for some people. But like, how do you know? Like, I don't know. Just eating.
And then there's the vegan, and then
and then are eggs good, or can I eat cheese? Well, usually I definitely can't eat cheese. But so when it comes to like good choices, good little choices that you can make for your food,
it's hard to make the proper little choices, right? But we all have to go with what makes sense to us, what information have we learned. So I even wanted to say like a couple of things that Peter and I have started doing. So I love sugar, right?
You almost made me do a spit take. I love sugar.
What? Sugar.
We're talking about food, and you're like, I love sugar.
So I love sugar.
I eat sugar from a bowl.
I do not. Maybe in the past. So there's one thing that we were recently introduced to, which was a replacement for sugar. So it's called a sugar alcohol, and there's two that are like the most popular ones. They're called xylitol and erythritol. Weird names. We call them shug. That's our nickname for them.
Did we come up with that? Or is
We
that...
did.
Oh, really? That's not like an internet
No, we
thing.
decided.
Shug. S-H-U-J. Shug. Also spelled shug.
So we found out about shug from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who we have no affiliation with this gum. No, we would like to. If you want to give us free gum.
We'll take money. I was going to say money, but I guess, yeah, free gum, sure.
So Pure Gum is made with xylitol, and we found out about
it.
It's
not going to focus.
Oh.
It's not going to focus.
It's not? Oh, yeah, it's not going to focus.
Look, if you want to...
All right, it's fine. It doesn't matter. They saw it. It's good.
Look.
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah. There we go.
Whoa. All right.
All right.
So we found out about this xylitol gum there's a sweetener, and it's actually good for you. So it's good for your microbiome, your belly stuff going on in there, which is connected to your immune system and everything. It's also good for your teeth. So it's like, eat this after having any food. Like
sugar, definitely.
After having sugar.
Look, if you happen to eat sugar.
That's right. Well, we do. Yeah, we eat sugar. And then, did you chew your gum? Yeah, you chew your gum.
Because the gum takes the sugar sort of out in the food out of your teeth. And since it doesn't have sugar, it's not harmful to you.
That's right.
And it's good for your gut biome.
Yeah.
See, those are the little things that I like hearing about, right?
That's
when somebody says, hey, add some of this gum to your diet, you're like, add gum? Yeah, this is going to be good for you. Good for me, gum? We got packs of them.
And so I also bought like the sugar version of it, and I put that in my coffee in the morning instead of honey. I was using honey. So that's like a good amount of sugar that's no longer affecting my body, no longer affecting my teeth. So that was like a huge thing. It's like, it's fantastic. In the last few months, I'm like, wow, this is like a big thing for me. You can also, I bought chocolate that's sweetened with erythritol. So I get to enjoy chocolate, and it's not as bad for me. I
put it in my tea.
In your tea. It's good for us. So something like that. I tell my clients about it. I'm a big...
Is it expensive?
It's more expensive than sugar, but it's not that expensive. Like you can get a bag, show the bag if you want. That we get for $8.99. So yeah, just a simple change like that. If you're somebody who maybe ate a lot of sweets over the holidays, you're trying to get a little back in shape or something like that. There we go.
Bag this size.
That's
just so you know, what's the size of the iPhone? There it is. I don't know what messages you have there. Hey, who is that messaging you?
Water the plants.
Water the plants.
Okay, so let's move on from the erythritol.
Well, look, we have someone here saying, Sylvester says, I will check that gum out.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Yeah. Definitely do that. Just so you know, if you use the sugar in like recipes and meals, it's not going to last like the next day. Like it might taste a little...
It might taste a little bit different the next day. You can cook with it and stuff like that, and I haven't cooked with it. But supposedly the next day it might taste a little bit different. Not bad, but like, I don't remember what they said. But anyway, just look that up.
Yeah. Melissa says, you're not just eating meat, you're eating organs. I imagine that's what you're saying. An organ?
That sounds like meat.
Sounds like meat to me. Flesh at the very least.
All right. Let's not talk too long. There's, vegans.
Let's move to a happier topic. No, Melissa, yes, organ meat is actually very good. I'm a meat eater, okay? And I like to hear about this. But anyway, Afra says, hope vaccinations are happening. Look, I hear they're happening, right? They're happening somewhere. I just like that we've entered the area of talking about of people getting vaccines. I mean, I'm not going to talk to you about whether I'm going to have a vaccine or not. I'm the type of person I kind of want to see how things work out. But I'm very hopeful that it works out. And please let it work. Please let the most rushed vaccine in the history of vaccines work. Okay. Yeah. Please let that work. Yeah. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm saying it sarcastically, but I really hope that it works out well. All right. Heather says, I use stevia. You got opinions about stevia?
I have a little bit of an opinion about stevia. Stevia to me has like an aftertaste, whereas erythritol and xylitol don't. Also, as far as I can tell, stevia might have an impact on your blood glucose levels, whereas erythritol doesn't. Xylitol may. Stevia may or may not be good for your gut microbiome. I read a few articles and listened to videos and stuff about, which one would be best, and it seems to me from what I saw that these erythritol and xylitol may be better for different things, but tons of people love stevia. There's monk fruit. There's other ones as well that people use. Yeah, but I'm not an expert on those ones, on any of them anyway.
Dr. Rhonda Patrick is a great resource for this. You can find her at her website, foundmyfitness.com.
Yeah, I don't know if she talks a lot about these sugars though.
No. She has a cool Facebook group where you can get some cool information. You can check it out there. Anyway, if you seek, you shall find. Ask and you shall receive. A knock on the door will be opened onto you. I didn't mean to quote the Bible, but and I quoted it out of order. But if you got a question, just go out there and ask. This is a point where you're kind of learning some information, but go out there and study it for yourself. You don't have to take our word for it. You don't have to take Sam's word for it. You can definitely go out and Google that. You got Google, use it. You got time to use it. You got something else to do? You have something else on your mind?
I have tons of things that I can talk about. So we were talking about the little things.
We don't have time for any of this. Thank you so much for watching the show. You've been absolutely wonderful. I'm just joking.
Other little things that I do is I love dried mango, eating dried mango instead of like bad desserts or it's been years that I don't eat candy. I was addicted to candy in the past, very addicted to candy. Got off that, thankfully.
This is a great candy substitute. To me, yeah. If you gave me this, I think you were giving me candy.
Like, if you have kids, I really suggest dried fruits. Maybe they don't like them as much, but if they never introduced to candy, then they'll go for dried fruits, right?
No, I think they'll like dried fruits anyway.
I think so.
Look, if the choice is...
Your nephew loves smoothies versus like whatever, sodas.
Ice cappuccino. Look, if the choice is between no candy and dried candy, or no drink, or no soda versus smoothie, they'll take it. Come on, what are the kids going to say? No, just give me the water.
Yeah.
I never met a kid who was just so reserved. Like, forget it. You're not going to eat me candy. Forget it. Dried mango. Puh, puh, I spit on your Never met a kid like that. I'd love to meet a kid like that.
So we love our smoothies. We drink Revive superfood smoothies. It really seems like we're doing product placement, which we're not.
These are the little choices that we make.
These are the little choices that we make, and they're fantastic. So the Revive superfood smoothies, they have like a bunch of different fruits and vegetables in them. They come in a cup. You just put it in the freezer, Vitamix, and it's like ready. So I love like forcing him to have that to get his vitamins and minerals.
Look, man, they found a way to make a smoothie good, simple to do.
But you like recently said that you feel much better than you used to in the past. Like, I think one of the big little things for us was starting to take vitamin D a couple of years ago. We learned about vitamin D3. If you haven't, look it up. Supposedly it really can also help with COVID symptoms or the severity of it. Vitamin D, like you had a huge change with that, right?
Most people don't get enough vitamin D. Certainly, very few in North America. You've got to be outside in the sun for a long time and not like showered off in order to get the vitamin D. So most of us are deficient. Definitely in Canada, people are deficient in vitamin D. And it turns out like something like 70% of the Black folk who got COVID in hospitals, who ended up in hospitals, were vitamin D deficient. Mm-hmm. Our black skin prevents sunlight, so we were made for an environment that had a lot more sun, an excess of sun, and you transpose us into an environment where it's not very sunny. You're getting a vitamin deficiency.
You were getting sick less right away, right?
I used to be sick all the time. I used to be sick like almost every week. Like every week or two, especially as a kid, I just always be sick. And this vitamin D, it's hard to know what exactly caused it because we made so many changes.
That's right.
But the vitamin D has
I think that one, we made a change and we noticed something with you right away. But slowly over the months and years, we've been adding different vitamins. So, something like taking vitamin D and C and omega-3s.
Keep going.
Omega-3s like helped me, like my body feels different.
I take a handful of pills
We
now.
take lots of pills.
I take a handful of pills. I got a little tray that has the dates on it. Sunday to Saturday, I got to remember each day, and I got to take these pills, a handful of it. I got to swallow it down. At first, it was just like, oh, I'll take a few vitamin Ds. Now I'm swallowing whole batches of pills. And it turns like, oh, and I wake up in the morning, hey, maybe you need some morning pills. I found out that my twin
Zinc.
brother...
If you're getting sick, you take some zinc.
Yeah, I found that my brother's taking pills 4 times a day. Look, okay? You gotta draw a line, okay? Lockdowns, curfews, pills, enough!
The thing is, you don't actually need all of those vitamins all the time, but if you're not eating like the best, like full, proper meals with variety, you're lacking something, right? And it's like, it's hard to know. And that's one of the things is which vitamin is best and which one, like, to take at what time. And so it's still very confusing. But listening to some of the experts, it seems as though, yes, taking them is a good idea. And we felt different, so.
Hey, look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Why have the technology and this information and not use it? I'm all for it.
I just want to answer Heather, who says dried fruit isn't great for your teeth. Absolutely not. But... chew some of this after. Or brush your teeth, floss your teeth. Absolutely.
It's a treat. It's a
treat. Yeah. It's not like...
don't need a whole bag of mango.
It's to replace like the junk, you know?
It's a step up.
It's a step up.
It's a step up. Joanne says, I get a lot of vitamin D. Good vibes. Yeah, you're out there in Mexico. You're getting a lot of vitamin D.
Yeah.
She says, Sam's favorite words. Google it. Yeah. What, do you say that a lot?
I think I say it to my mom a lot.
Google it. I remember I was speaking at a school of to a bunch of teenagers in a school in Mexico, and I told them like replace I don't know with I don't know yet, right? Like, do you guys have Google here? Well, then go Google it. There's no reason to be sitting on I don't know and then that be the end of the story.
Right.
Go and find out what's going on.
That's right.
Fantastic. I see you got here.
Well, I have other things that I can say. So I'll say these two things since lockdown is happening. There are different things that we can do for our mental well-being, right? So of course, like there's things like get out of the house when you can, get your sunlight. Recently, I'm listening to Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist, and he talks about all the science of getting daylight early in the day. So as soon as you can, bright early daylight is fantastic for not only your mood and things like that, but your whole circadian rhythm, like how well you're going to sleep at night, the hormones that are secreted in your body. It affects your different organs and how things function. So getting actual like sunlight, daylight early in the day for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and then also in the afternoon, it like syncs up your whole system properly. So anybody who's like having a hard time sleeping, try this. Anybody who's having a hard time with like mental health, feeling a little bit down, do that. Like it can be very powerful. There's also us here in Canada. It's like dark. So for me this year, one of the things that like was keeping me feeling like really good last year was being able to do meetups, going to the gym. Two things that I'm no longer able to do. So it's been a little bit more of a struggle to stay like feeling positive and having more energy. So I bought a happy light lamp, one of those lights for seasonal affective disorder. So it's just this bright light that you shine on the side of your face for like 15, 20 minutes a day. And it's supposed to help like make you feel better. And honestly, I think it does. Like, I think that just having that for a little bit of time. And then I also use it like to shine in my house, like when it seems sort of gloomy and dark, and I feel like I have more energy. Like I just feel like things are brighter, you know? I'm somebody who's like pretty affected by like, if it's a dark, cloudy day, it's a little bit harder to move and go, you know? So something like getting a happy light, getting daylight, very...
And that light is not just like a normal lamp light.
That's
it's
right.
Like has UV rays or something.
It doesn't have UV rays, but has a certain, what is it? Kelvins? A certain something or other in the lights, a certain brightness that affects you and your mind.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Look, I know if I keep asking you questions and keep poking you, got lots to say.
I can keep talking. Yeah.
It's up to you, man. It's up to you. You know, it's up to these folks. Joanne says, I agree. Morning sunlight is good for your mood. It's not good for my mood. Okay, I'm a nocturnal creature.
He's a
all right.
weird
When the light goes away, when in the wintertime in Canada it starts getting dark at 4:30. Oh, oh, it's luxury. It's luxury. Okay, I absolutely love it. Okay, when the sun goes out, first of all, I love doing most of my work at night. I feel more productive at night. Nobody's bothering me. At midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody's calling my phone. Nobody's knocking on my door. Nobody's expecting anything. There's no store to go to. I can just totally focus. The world feels calm. It feels like this cool calm. It feels like active noise cancellation has been put on to the whole world.
That makes sense.
And I can just chill out.
Makes sense.
And I don't have to live with this sort of tension of somebody might be ringing the doorbell or here comes the mail or something like that.
That's true.
It's less of a bother these days. You know, back in the day,
you were like that even when you were a kid, like.
Yeah.
So Peter and I are very different in some ways.
But I'm learning that, you know, despite the fact that I might like the night, getting a good dose of sunlight is a very good thing, not only for your mood, but also it promotes healing of your wounds, healing of your illnesses. Your body's immune system depends on you seeing the sun. I hate saying that. That is true.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly say a couple of things just because we did just find out more about lockdown. Get some plants if you can. You can buy plants on Facebook Marketplace. You can do little switches with people. You don't have to spend like a lot of money on them, but find a way to get a couple of plants if you don't already have plants. To me, they really like they brighten up the space, something to take care of, something to put your attention on, the greenery. You know, we've heard studies where just like walking in the woods and stuff affects your mood. For me, I noticed that having plants is affecting my mood and making me feel like calmer and just more grounded. So something like plants. Other things that I'll mention is like try and find things if you want to and you want to be social, find things online that you can do. So I've done with my Self-Discovery Montreal meetup group in the past, I've done activities with these two women. So one of them is laughter yoga with Wendy Singer. She does laughter yoga weekly, almost weekly, I believe, still online. I joined a few weeks ago, super fun. So I can post the links, maybe something like that, or just search laughter yoga Wendy Singer. So people like they come on camera and you see them all in their houses and it's like we force ourselves to laugh, we do little things, we stretch, we breathe as a group. And so we used to do that in person, but now she's doing it online. So something like that, like staying connected with people in that way. So you like force yourself to laugh, but then it becomes contagious. So it's pretty cool.
Hey man, it started being real for me after about 2 seconds.
That was not planned.
I saw it in her eyes. I saw it in her eyes.
I didn't. It wasn't even.
I thought you saw it in mine.
No, I didn't.
Just waiting
but
for
I
a
was
pause.
wondering why you're just staring at me like that. It was sort of weird.
But the laughter yoga is fun too. And then the other lady?
So the other one is groove dancing with Diane Dupree. Diane does, so it's groove dance. So they go online all together with their cameras. She puts on music. She has a track. And it's like groove. You sort of dance on your own. But there's some guided. But it's very like... laissez-faire. It's not like, oh, now I'm doing aerobics and I have to follow like exactly what she's doing. It's more suggestions and stuff. So you sort of let yourself go, you have fun. She does them weekly as well. She's been doing them all during COVID and people love it. So Groove Dance with Diane Dupuis. I'll share the links in the comments as well. So like finding something like that to stay, connected to other people and moving your body and laughing, like those things are really, really helpful.
I know I've been in sort of a holding pattern. I keep thinking, maybe it's going to end soon. Maybe we can get back to normal. If you're in that space, there's nothing wrong with sort of hoping that things go back to normal, especially since we got the vaccines coming out. But engage with these things that you see online. Like start doing little changes because you don't know how long necessarily this is going to go, and you don't want to start off too far behind, right? Too great of a need. Diane Dupree, one of my favorite people on this planet. She's absolutely fantastic, great energy. I love her group classes. They're really nice. Everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen seems fantastic. Whether it's the food that you eat, whether it's a laughter yoga with Wendy Singer, whether it's watching
us, Bad Guru Nightly.
We're going to be on a regular basis. But, you just, if you've been in a state where you're like, oh, let me hold out, let me wait, and I'm not going to really engage, reformat yourself, because the world is different right now. I don't know how long that will be the case, but the things that are happening now are going to be continue on in the future. Bad Guru Nightly certainly will be. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing here, then like it.
Share.
Hit the like. If you're not on YouTube, sign up to YouTube. Go onto YouTube. We're going to be releasing clips there. Not everything we do is done live. So youtube.com/happyforachange. If you're not on Facebook, facebook.com/happyforachange, and then you can like us there. We really appreciate it. It really matters when you like these videos. It helps other people to find this content. So if you like what's going on, please feel free to like it. If you like it more, you can share it.